Hi, I'm Aaron Garlow, and I'm going to start off with a song that deals with my idea that everybody ought to have something or someone that they see as a higher power, and that's called Waterfalls. And it goes like this. Like a rolling river, passing little towns along the way. Seems like it runs on forever, and the current's taking me away. Life is like that rolling river, sometimes it turns to waterfalls. Rivers don't run on forever, they disappear into the sea. I'm floating down that river, trying to miss the waterfall, never knowing when they're coming, never knowing when to call out your name. I'm trying not to drown now, I've been swept away by the waterfalls. Looking forward to tomorrow, when all of this won't matter at all. 'Cause I'm floating down that river, trying to miss the waterfalls, never knowing when they're coming, never knowing when to call out your name. You're the one that keeps me going, the only one that matters at all. 'Cause with you I can swim that old river, and I'm not afraid of the waterfall. 'Cause I'm floating down that river, trying to miss the waterfall, never knowing when they're coming, never knowing when to call out your name. I'm floating down that river, trying to miss the waterfall, never knowing when they're coming, never knowing when to call out your name. Oh, the next song I'm going to do is based on kind of a memory of my mother, bless her soul. When I was growing up, she'd say, "You always be a good boy and do what I tell you and stay out of trouble, and I always have your back." And that was true till I was a senior in high school. And some friends of mine and I decided we were going to visit a friend 6 miles away. At least that's what we told her. And we were actually not going there for the weekend. We were going from Clarksburg, West Virginia to Bristol, Tennessee to see some girls for a dance at a college. And it just happened to be the weekend of the storm of the century, and we got caught in the snow and nearly froze to death. And so that kind of inspired this song, thinking about my mother one day, and I thought of funny things that happened, and this was one of them. So this is a song about that. It's called Appalachian Wind. I was headed up the highway, headlights cutting through the snow. It was a storm of the century, but how was I to know? I didn't know where I was headed. I didn't know where I had been, but I could hear her voice calling in that cold Appalachian wind, in that cold Appalachian wind. Oh. Well, I drove for 10 long hours, only made it 80 miles. My tank was running low now. I remembered when I was a child. Well, my mother said, son, be careful. Don't go out in life's cold storms. And if you do, just remember, I'll be there to keep you warm. But I didn't know where I was headed. I didn't know where I had been, but I could hear her voice calling in that cold Appalachian wind, in that cold Appalachian wind. Many a traveler has fallen victim to those stormy mountain snows. It was 10 below zero, and out of fuel I had to go. Well, I got out and walked till morning, till I was cold and frozen numb. And I laid down along the roadside, 'cause I thought I was surely done. I didn't know where I was headed. I didn't know where I had been, but I could hear her voice calling in that cold Appalachian wind, in that cold Appalachian wind. Found me, I was barely hanging on. When they asked me just how I made it, it must have been my mother that kept me warm. And I didn't know where I was headed, and I didn't know where I had been, but I could hear her voice calling in that cold Appalachian wind, in that cold Appalachian wind. I didn't know where I was headed, and I didn't know where I had been, but I could hear going to do a little traditional blues song off my first CD that's called St. James Infirmary Blues, and this is my version of that old traditional song. It goes something like this. By the square, they was passing out drinks as usual, and the usual crowd was there. On the left was old Joe McKennedy. His eyes were a bloodshot red. He was talking about his long lost baby. Yeah, and these were the words that he said. I went down to that St. James Infirmary to see my baby there. Yeah, she's laid on a long white table, so cold, so young, so fair. I said, let her go, God bless you. Wherever she may be, yes, she can search this whole wide world over. Never gonna find another man like me. There were 16 coal black horses to pull that rubber-tired hat. 7 girls went to the graveyard, but only 6 of them are coming back. Bury me in my straight pants, my black coat and Stetson hat. Put a $20 gold piece in my watch pocket, so the boys will know I died standing pat. I want 6 crap shooters, my pallbearers. I want 7 whores to sing me a song. I want a hot jazz band on my funeral wagon, so we can raise hell as we roll along. Now you heard my story. Buy another round of booze. Yeah, and if anybody ever asks you, I got them St. James Infirmary Blues. I'm going to do an instrumental now that's kind of based on a song I started called Red Molly, and then my friend Mike and I do a lot of work out in the woods with chainsaws and axes and splitting mauls, and we have this splitting maul about that long. It weighs about 19 pounds and it's bright red, and we named it Red Molly, and then had this epiphany one day and realized this is a steel hammer because you can also drive wedges with it with the other side. So I renamed the song Red Molly parentheses Steel Hammer Blues, and it goes something like this. Last year, C.F. Martin and Company, that makes guitars, celebrated the 50th anniversary of the D35 Martin. And almost 16 years ago, or almost 51 years ago this year, I bought a new one the year they came out for $380 with a case. And still have that guitar. When I traveled with it on the road, a lot of times at night I'd end up with in the motel room just me and that guitar, and there were many times that it was just me, the guitar, and writing a song. And I took it out of the case after I hadn't played it in quite a while, about a year ago, and this song just came out. It's on my first CD, and it's called At the End of the Day, and basically it was about that old guitar. The song just kind of happened in about 5 minutes and then polished it off later, but this is called At the End of the Day. Playing this old guitar for many, many years. Love to play for the audience, love to hear the cheers. And at the end of the day, when all the picking's through, the music stops, I realize it's just me and you. Yeah, we stuck it out through thick and thin, through the bad times and the good. Sometimes it's like you have a heart even though you're made of wood. At the end of the day, when all the picking's through, the music stops, I realize it's just me and you. Well, I've had some friends that stuck by me, some that didn't last, some that took advantage, some that moved too fast. And at the end of the day, when all the picking's through, the music stops, I realize it's just me and you. Stuck it out through thick and thin, through the bad times and the good. Sometimes it's like you have a heart even though you're made of wood. And at the end of the day, when all the picking's through, the music stops, I realize it's just me and you. I know there's one in you, makes the songs and notes I play so loud and clear and true. At the end of the day, when all the picking's through, the music stops, I realize it's just me and you. Now we're growing old and we've known out our sets, remembering all the tunes we played and all the folks we met. And at the end of the day, stops, I realize it's just me and you. When I finally leave this earth, have to move along, someone else will play it and write another song. And at the end of the day, when all the picking's through, the music stops, they'll realize it's just them and you. Yeah, when the music stops, they'll realize it's just them and you.